Okay, so this new pickup truck, it is not a full-blown EV. It is essentially do you remember the Chevy Volt did this previously, but also I'm pretty sure the Karma Rivero did something where it has a battery pack, it has electric motors. This has 145 miles of electric range that you can completely use, but also has a gas tank and then a 3.6 liter V6 engine that can use the gas to then send power generation back into the electric system of the truck. And then with both of them together fully, you can get 690 miles of range.
So it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid with all the benefits of an EV because you're using EV motors. So you have like the 0 to 60, you've got better torque.
I mean, yes.
Better instant torque, I should say.
So I guess the question is, with any hybrid, the question is, are the motors powerful enough to like really be all the benefits of an EV? Like the Prius, like the Prius is this exact same.
No, but this is different because this is the drivetrain is only electric motors.
Oh, it does not connect the
engine.
That's what.
Like the Karma Rivero,
I see.
Almost positive. It's really hard to find information on the Karma Rivero because now Karma is a new company that's a little different, and there's not a ton of information on the older one. But that was a battery with electric motors, and then there was also a combustion engine, but it was not sending power to the wheels, I believe.
Okay.
Maybe not the Karma. That's what this does. It's essentially continuing the charging of the batteries and letting you use electricity.
So it's an electric car that also has a gas generator inside that you can use to fill the battery.
It has an engine that sends generation power into the electric drivetrain. So I think it's cool because in the pickup truck world specifically, I think there's, first of all, like when the Volt did it, it only had 50 miles of EV range. This has 145 miles of EV range that you can do just plugging it in, which should be for most people plenty for your everyday commute. But when you have a truck and you're towing and you're probably going to lose quite a bit of that range in just pure electricity, having the backup tank of 690 miles, which is probably less towing a high payload, I think the ability to, if once a month you're towing something, maybe like a boat far away to a lake or something, I think it sounds like an interesting in-between.
That's fascinating. It's a fascinating solution. Yeah. I think when you like ask people what they think of EVs, I think a lot of people's most question is like, so what happens when you run out of electricity? Or what happens, how, there's no gas tank? What do you mean there's no gas tank? So this is kind of it's almost the thing that they would describe without knowing that they're describing it. They're like, what if I could just like have a backup gas tank?
Yeah.
And that would replenish my battery.
Yeah. And I think for a pickup truck, it makes the most sense in here because those are the things that maybe do take them on longer than 145 mile trips. Or like I said, when you're towing or have a high payload, you start losing range pretty quickly. So having that to be able to just like complete those longer trips. If you're still somebody who's towing a huge payload all of the time and where need a towing capacity higher than this, I think it's 14,000 pounds.
Nice.
A gas is still going to be your better option.
Yeah.
But this feels like a better in between now for, I want a pickup truck for some reason as my daily driver, which is way too big in my opinion. But anyways, if you still want that, but then maybe you're towing your heavy boat somewhere every once in a while, like.
Yeah, we've seen the Nocta range that a lot of EVs get when towing. Like Zach, Jerry Rig Everything's video is a great example. He did a Rivian tow test, and basically towing crushes your battery. You're using way more torque, way more constant power. So this pickup truck is a pretty ideal type of vehicle to get this sort of treatment, where like a normal SUV might not actually benefit that much from.
Yeah, and most likely 90% of the time you're only using the EV battery here that you can plug in every night, wake up to a whole 145 miles of range, and then on the weekend it has the gas. The gas is just sitting there in case something happens, and then you're good to go.
Knock yourself out.
I think it's pretty cool.
Question.
Sure.
So basically, it just has a generator to like replenish the battery, right?
That's the best. I think that's the correct way to think about it.
I think that's the easiest way to put it. I'm sure there's something more complicated in there, but
so if the power in my house goes out, can I use it as a generator?
I don't know if you're saying so, like
kind of how the F-150 Lightning, you could just plug into it, and
I don't know if it has the ability to push the power out.
Yeah,
it would be really cool to be able to have your whatever kilowatt hour battery that can do that, plus turn the car on in the gas and continue to power that. But
yeah,
I don't No, I didn't see that.
Feature request. Ram, if you're
Feature
listening.
Make sure you open your garage when you do that.
Yes.
Because with the F-150
No.
Lightning, you don't have to.
You're very
But,
right.
You know, it's a little different.
Newbie question here.
Yeah.
It is Ram, right? Is the company?
Ram
Yes,
is a
It's not
company.
a Dodge Ram anymore.
That's what I made that mistake a couple weeks ago on the pod, I
Okay.
think.
No,
I thought it was
I
a
made that
Dodge.
mistake like a year ago.
Yeah, we
and
thought it was Dodge Ram.
funny enough, out of all, listen, we get stuff about we're tech people who enjoy cars. I think that's very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
When I said it like a year ago, I have to say the Ram people were the nicest people in correcting me.
Oh.
So many people were like, it hasn't been named Dodge in years. It's just been its own company, but just letting you know. Very nice. I know it used to be that. I know
how
it's just
wholesome.
Ram now, though.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't jumped down my throat like the majority of the mistakes that I make.
It was 2010. Okay, you have an excuse for missing 13 years of pickup trucks.
I will say the logo is still that bighorn thing. That
It's what it was when it was the Dodge Ram.
Right.
Oh, man. I don't want to go any further into this because the potential of me making a mistake
get it
is
wrong
through
again.
the
We're
roof
gonna
right
get
now.
it wrong
Marquez is just trying to direct the vehicle hate to me
What do you
this
think about the
episode.
GTR? Talk about the GTR.
I liked the GTR.
Oh,
Weirdly.
on the road or like a tracker?
I think I think it looks good. I like how it looks.
Little mid-episode mini trivia. I've got a study here in front of me.
A study.
A study.
Whoops.
I've got a study here in front of me. What percentage, and this is by Strategic Vision, a auto research firm, what percentage of Ford F-150 owners rarely or never tow anything?
I heard this from Ford.
Dude, the Ford guy told us this. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was so much higher than you
It's
expect.
incredibly high. It's
never-
got to be over 90.
I think it's over 80.
Rarely, or
I
if-
think it might be over 90 though.
I think it's probably over half never. And then I think rarely would include most of the rest of owners. I think it's 90.
Here's my the people who would answer that, are they answering a survey?
Yes, this is self-reported.
People, if you tow it all, I would assume would never say rarely. They want to. Pretend they
Self-reported
do it
would
more.
be a bunch of people who do towing, so maybe it's higher
It's
or lower.
63%.
Never or rarely.
Never or rarely. But it's what's even crazier is that 52% of F-150 owners use them as a daily commuter.
No, it's true.
Anyway, this is all to say that while in our brains towing might be important for a truck,
and
it ain't.
another thing on that though is a lot of people who tow and are towing a lot will go for a 250 or 3, they'll an upgraded
or a
truck.
cyber truck.
Yes, that's the towing dream.
Yeah.
All those real cyber trucks out there.
Coming soon.
Wait, okay. My favorite track car news of the week. I tweeted this. The Rimac Navara set a new Guinness World Record. You know how they set the fastest 0 to 60 of a production car, the fastest 0 to 100, the fastest 0 to 200. They had all these acceleration records in a straight line. They set another straight line acceleration record that I guess they maybe forgot to think of the first time.
Oh.
It's the top speed record backwards.
Oh.
It's the fastest production car ever backwards with a top speed of 171 miles per hour in a straight line backwards. And I need you to I don't even need you to picture this. I actually will put a link below where you can watch them blast this car backwards at 170 miles an hour in a straight line. And it is one of the most entertaining. I don't know why.
You were watching it for half an hour
It's
this
such
morning.
a funny video, dude, because they have the same exact shoot type where they're action shots of them, and it's just this car. You just picture the guy trapping like this.
Didn't you say
backwards.
they originally posted it in reverse, which made everything look like it was going forwards, and then they said, "Gotcha,
Yeah,
this
they
is all
started-
reverse."
They opened with this montage of the car going really fast in a straight line, and they were like, all of those shots were played backwards because this car is hauling backwards at 170 miles an hour. Is this useful? No, it's not. Is this practical? Is this ever going to be a reason anyone buys a car? No. I'm trying to remember what car I reviewed on Autofocus that was the fastest reversing car I've ever tested, and I accidentally discovered that. It was within
I'm
the
just
last couple
imagining
weeks
me backing down my driveway.
at 50 miles an hour.
I'm just saying this would be very useful in every zombie apocalypse movie where they're all going backwards incredibly fast.
Seems like
where they hit a dead end and they need to.
Exactly.
Yeah, just
We gotta get out of here.
hop in your $3 million hypercar and
If there was a car or
Step
a
on it.
vehicle I had during a zombie apocalypse, I think the Rivera would be the last one I would pick.
Cybertruck is
Rimac.
top of the list.
No,
Cybertruck
not
is
that either.
probably the top of the list. It is the top of the list, yeah.
You'd pick an EV in a zombie apocalypse. What if the electricity's out? You have a better chance of finding gas reserves.
But people always say that gas pumps run on electricity. So if electricity's out, you're doomed anyway.
Yeah, well, I would siphon it with my mouth.
You can siphon electricity with your mouth.
If you try hard enough.
All right. Ellis here. Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that you cannot hear sounds if they're less than 20 hertz. You can't hear pulses as a solid tone under than 20. So I figured I'd put together a little demonstration.
This feels like in the
Little
same
minute
vein
long.
of like you can't see over X hertz.
Kinda. Well, because of... Okay, we'll get into that later. All right, but for the meantime, I have playing currently 1 bongo per second. So our bongo is rocking at 1 hertz, right? Now we have 2 bongos every second. We can still clearly delineate each bongo from its previous and next bongo, right?
It's unfortunate how much anxiety this has caused me already.
Here we have 4 bongos per second. We
4
can
hertz.
still hear each bongo quite clearly.
Turn me up.
Yeah.
8 bongos.
I kind of wanted to guess how many.
We're just doing 2s.
Okay.
8 bongos. All right, ready? Here is 16 bongos. We can still hear each individual bongo, right? Now watch what happens when we make the jump from 16 to 32 bongos, crossing the 20 threshold. That's a tone.
Do more. What is it? Do 120.
That's 128 bongos a second.
I could hit bongos that fast.
Like and subscribe!
Is this 100 gex?